So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Unconventional Side Hustles. My name is Robert. Let's go ahead and get into it. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about a green thumb and making some money. So have you gone to the grocery store and noticed the prices have just gone up for just about everything food related? Vegetables, meat, pretty much anything and everything you can think of in a grocery store has probably doubled in your area, if not more. I know for me personally, I've noticed a lot of stuff has just skyrocketed crazy. So one thing that pops up off the top of my head is corn. I love corn. I make roasted corn on the barbecue pit all the time. And I've noticed that the corn I used to buy was 4 for $1, basically 25 cents a piece. Then it jumped up to 33 cents a piece, so basically 3 for $1. And then now it's 2 for $1, so 50 cents a piece. So it's gone up drastically. And just about everything else, guys, everything else has just gone up. Tomatoes, chilies, onions, every piece of vegetable has gone up tremendously. Now, don't even get me started on the organics or the farm fresh products. Those things are even, twice, 3 times as much as the non-organic stuff. So there's a lot of room there to make some money if you're interested. Now, I'm going to briefly describe how I used to do this when I was younger. Again, I wasn't making as much as you can probably make today. I didn't do it on a large scale, but I was a young kid and I really enjoyed gardening. How basically I would set this up is I had a small, probably about a 30 by maybe 40, 30 by 30 area section that I would till with the ground with a tiller every year. And I had a lot of sand in my area, a lot of clay. But I would till it, get it ready, go to my local Walmart, pick up those little packs of seeds. Back then, even these are expensive, but back then, these little packs of seeds are about 10 cents per pack. Today, they're like $1 something. So, huge difference also. But either way, pick up those packets, put them in the ground, and start watering them. You might be thinking, well, man, Robert, this is a lot of work. Watering is a lot of work. It's an expensive bill as well. Well, what I did, again, trying to be as passive as possible. I tried to make everything to where it doesn't use up so much of my time. I like my free time. So what I did is I installed gutters on my house. My house didn't have gutters at this time. And a carport. We had a large, I don't even know, like a 40 by 40 carport. It's huge. And I ran gutters on that thing. And what I bought was oil-filled totes. If you're not familiar with what oil-filled totes are, they are big old 330-gallon white totes that come in an aluminum frame. Now, if you get these things, if you're trying to do what I did, you're gonna have to clean these out very, very well because they have chemicals in them. So you can get some that are, I guess, less hazardous chemicals, but you will have to ask and make sure you read on the labels and make sure you verify that it wasn't anything hazardous. None of the ones I got were like serious chemicals or anything, but I would still, go about the process of cleaning them as well as I could as a kid. So I'd clean them out with a pressure washer, soap, and all kinds of stuff. My dad would help me out as well. We'd get them cleaned up. What I ended up doing was running the gutters, and then every time it would rain, it would fill up my totes. And I built a little platform for these totes. So I had a little bit of gravity pressure. I built 2 platforms, got 2 totes. So I had 660 gallons of water. Those 660 gallons of water lasted me a very, very long time to water my garden. Now, how would you do this is I had one platform about here, another platform here. The gutters would come into this one, and then just with natural gravity, it would flow into the other one and fill up this one, as this one would fill up. So the pressure of this one would fill up the second one. And then from the second one, I had a hose. I had a hose on a timer that was connected to an outlet, and it was on a timing system. So every time at, say, 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 7 o'clock in the morning, it would automatically water my garden. How would I do that? I used to use the soaker hoses, but then they weren't doing an effective job. So I started getting, I'll leave it down in the description. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but I'll leave it down in the description for anyone who's interested. But they were like soaker hoses, but they weren't. And basically they would soak the whole garden on a timer. Say it ran for 30 minutes or an hour. And I never had to go out there and tend to the garden itself. The only time I would have to go out there is whenever weeds started growing, which is maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. Kind of depended a little bit if we got any rain as well. And I kind of just kept this up. I would keep it up usually during the winter time, produce a lot of watermelons, cantaloupes, corn, tomatoes, chilies, peppers, onions, a lot of different vegetables. And then I would just sell them around to my neighborhood. I was a young kid. I don't even think I was able to drive at this point. I was so young, I would just sell them around to people around my neighborhood. But if you're watching this, you're probably older than what I was when I started that. And again, I didn't do it for super long, I just did it for a couple years. But again, if you want to take this to another level, you can produce a lot of this stuff, which, by the way, watermelons now are selling for over $10 a freaking watermelon, homegrown watermelons. And we're talking about the little ones. The ones I used to grow back then were the big old jumbo watermelons. So those things today are probably worth $12, $15, I'm sure, at least. So you do the math on how much money you can make off of those. And the vines produce a lot of watermelons. But anyways, going back to this. So yeah, you can, pick up all your vegetables and take them and sell them to a lot of local farmers markets. You can set up on the side of the roads. Check if you need permits on this stuff. Again, this isn't financial advice. This is just financial opinion, I guess is the best way to put it. But yeah, you can sell them on the side of the road. You can go to different businesses, maybe even restaurants, see if they want any fresh produce. Again, back then I did do a lot of watermelons. Watermelons were actually probably my favorite to grow. And I would think I was making like $5 per watermelon, $4 per watermelon. I don't know. It was something ridiculous. Today it's considered ridiculous. But yeah, you can make a lot of money on this stuff. And it's a very easy and passive way to make money if you set it up the way I set it up. The only part that's, I guess, really active income, or I guess that's not the right way to put it, but the only way that it requires a lot of work is when you're actually going out to have to pick the crops or the produce that you produced and then to go sell them. But again, you can sell them in bulk. There's a lot of people out there that will just buy a whole trailer of watermelons so they can go sell them and turn $1 or $2 per watermelon. So it just depends how you want to make your money. Do you want to make it just all in one chunk with the least amount of time involved? Or do you want to make the highest amount of profit you can make? You're going to have to put in a little bit more time. Depends on what you want to do, how you want to work this and sort this out. I see a lot of people today doing it with their kids, stopped on the side of the roads, selling the watermelons. I'm sure the parents drove them there, dropped them off, hey, sell the watermelons. So there's different ways to get it done. Again, the sky's the limit on how much you can make on this. And if you're going to be producing a shit ton of freaking watermelons or a lot of corn, it kind of depends what you're going to be doing. I think watermelons is probably one of the most profitable things to grow, in my opinion, because they are so expensive. They do get so huge versus like corn. Corn's a little bit cheaper to produce and people aren't willing to pay as much for corn. People are not going to pay $15 for 1 ear of corn, you know what I mean? And one vine of a watermelon plant can produce multiple watermelons. So I would probably stick to watermelons if I was going to just do this on a larger scale. I would probably go with watermelons, but again, not financial advice, just financial opinion. And so if you have a green thumb and you enjoy gardening, this is a great side hustle to get into. Again, I used to do this as a kid and I really enjoyed it. Today I garden every now and again, but more for fun, not for profit. It's just for me because I enjoy it. So I hope you gained some value out of this video. I hope it was helpful, insightful, and informational. If you like this type of content, definitely leave a comment, definitely like, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned for another unconventional side hustle. Without further ado, be careful, be good, take care, and God bless. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.